Welcome to the Real Estate Bee with your guide and as a trusted real estate expert, Daniela Gnecchi.
Hello and welcome back. It's been 1 week since Pedro Sanchez declared that he's going to impose a property tax up to 100% for non-EU buyers, and no one has understood yet what he is talking about, nor had he given any explanation, information, clarifications. He disappeared. In this video, I'm going to give you some updates. This week, I read a lot about this. I listened to a lot of experts. I also called some lawyers who are specialized in real estate. I spoke with them, I asked them questions, and in this video, I'm going to tell you what they say. So I'm going to discuss which taxes Sanchez may be talking about, what experts in international law say, what political experts say, and more importantly, what you should do if you are planning to buy a property in Spain, and if ever an extra tax on non-EU buyers is actually implemented, how you can avoid it, because you can. I am Daniela Gnecchi and this is my channel, everything you need to know to successfully purchase a property in Spain as a foreigner. I have been selling Spanish properties to international buyers for 14 years. I have a full toolbox, experts who can help you with any step of the purchase process. I can help you purchase any new development property on the Spanish coast, and I can help you as personal shopper for any second-hand property. Contact me, go to my website, therealestatebee.com, get in touch with me, and together we can make your purchase successful, smooth, stress-free, and enjoyable, which is how it's supposed to be. In my previous video, I explained what are, in theory, the reasons why Sanchez is planning to impose this tax on non-EU buyers. And I also explained what is actually behind that. Always look behind, dig deeper, especially when it's a politician speaking. Now, Sanchez claimed that he is going to impose 100% property tax on non-EU buyers. So the question is, which tax? There are two different types of taxes that buyers have to pay depending on which type of property they are buying. New development properties are subject to VAT. VAT is 10% for everyone, everywhere in Spain. Now, it is absolutely impossible to think that VAT can be changed. It's a national tax. It cannot be changed. And it's impossible that two different categories of buyers would pay different VATs on the same type of purchase. So it cannot be VAT. New development properties are also subject to a small tax, stamp duty, which in Spain it's called AJD, Actos Jurídicos Documentales. This tax, which is only for new development properties, is a tax that is aimed to finalize the documents related to the property. New development properties are registered in the property registry for the first time when the buyer acquires the property, and all the management, the process related to this first registration, to all the administration, the documents needed, is paid with this tax. This tax goes from 0.5% to 2%, depending on the regions. Now, again, this is not actually a purchase tax, it's an administrative tax, so it is extremely unlikely that Sanchez is considering to increase this tax from 0.5% to 100% because it's not strictly a property purchase tax. And hardly could he justify that it's applied differently between EU buyers and non-EU buyers if it's an administrative tax. Second-hand properties instead are subject to a tax that is called ITP, Impuestos de Transmisiones Patrimoniales, Property Transfer Tax. This ITP tax is a regional tax. It is applied by the autonomous regions, and that's why it is different depending on the region. It goes from 6 to 10%. Now, whatever Sanchez says, even if he decides that this tax goes up to 100%, if the specific region doesn't want to apply this 100% and wants to keep it at 6% or 10%, there is absolutely nothing Sanchez can do to change this. The region decides. And let me tell you, without any doubt, the regions whose economy depends or benefits a lot from foreign buyers, international buyers, would never increase this tax that much. Never. These regions know perfectly that non-EU buyers and international buyers in general, they don't just buy a property, they consume, they go to restaurants, they go out, they buy products, they rent cars, they use services, so they bring a lot to the local economy, to the local community. These regions, and in these regions I include, without doubt, Andalusia, all the Costa del Sol, the Valencian community, Costa Blanca, all the area of Alicante, all the coasts. And we have the proof of this because these regions are not even applying Sanchez's housing law to regulate the long-term rentals. They are not doing it. When there was the flooding in Valencia, Sanchez not only didn't send any help in weeks, but also he tried to forbid anyone, including private people who were driving there with food and water to help these poor victims of the flooding. He did everything to avoid that because the local government doesn't apply his laws, is against him. So I tell you, the ITP will not be changed. The only region that in theory could consider this change might be Catalonia, because the Catalan independentists are the only allies of Sanchez. But even them have already expressed strong reservation to apply this increase in taxes for non-EU buyers, because they perfectly know that would affect the economical situation of the region, because a lot of foreigners buy in Barcelona and in Catalonia. So which tax is then Sanchez talking about? He may be talking about a new tax on purchases by non-EU buyers. And now we step into the next chapter. Can he do that? In addition to the European Union and all the laws related to it, Spain is also part of an organization called OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. This is an international organization to which many different countries belong: the European countries, the UK, the US, Australia, Canada, Turkey, New Zealand, Japan, many different countries, and of course, Spain. This organization regulates, among all other things, trades and taxation. All the international legal experts agree on the fact that it would be extremely complicated for Spain to introduce a tax only for non-EU buyers, especially if they come from countries that are part of this organization, to impose a different tax that could very much be seen like a discrimination based on their nation, and that would go against the agreements that Spain has to respect as a member of this organization. According to them, introducing this specific law only for non-EU buyers, and especially such a high tax, would be extremely controversial and complicated. And Spain could have a lot of legal consequences and economical consequences too, on top of what we were discussing in the previous video, which is, of course, hit on one of the main backbones of the economy, which is international real estate. So in conclusion, what do experts, political experts say? They say that this proposal, it sounds much more like a political statement that Sanchez is doing to appease his voters, or to, as I was saying in my previous video, buy votes from people who believe what he's saying, blaming someone else from the scarcity of properties, which is actually his responsibility. It sounds much more like that than a real plan. Anyway, if he comes up and says something, gives explanations, or clarify what he's talking about, I will let you know. I will update you. So subscribe and make sure to hit the notification button so you will be notified. Now, what should you do if you are thinking about buying a property in Spain? As I said, if you are in the process or buying a property, or if you are thinking about buying a property this year, by all means, go on and buy it. This tax will not be applied to people who already purchased the property. So if you buy a property now, you pay the current taxes and you won't have to worry about anything. What if you are instead planning on buying a property in Spain in the midterm, in the future? There are ways, even if sooner or later the government decides to impose a specific tax somehow on non-EU buyers, there are ways for you to avoid paying that. Let's say you want to retire in Spain, moving to Spain without working. What should you do? Take the visitor visa, 90 days visa, come to Spain, rent a property, process your non-lucrative visa, which allows you to live in Spain as long as you are financially independent. So you get pension from your country, or you have other types of income, money in the bank. It's not a difficult visa to get. You get this visa. When you have it, you become a EU buyer and you can buy the property without paying any non-EU buyers tax. If you are planning to move to Spain to work, there are plenty of visas related to work, entrepreneurial visa, digital nomad visa. You can get one of these visas and do exactly the same. Once you have it, you buy as a EU buyer. And if you are planning to invest in Spain, to buy one or more properties and rent them out, one thing you could do is to register a company in Spain. It's very easy. Anyone can do it. It's very cheap. You register a company in Spain, a SL, limited responsibility company, and you buy the property with the company. If you buy as a non-EU buyer and you invest, you rent them out, on the income, you pay a fixed tax of 24%. If you have a company, in Spain, companies pay a fixed tax on the profit between 23 and 25%, depending on the years. So it's exactly the same amount, but the difference is that if you buy as a company, there are several costs that you can deduct. So you pay on your benefit, you don't pay on the total of the rental income. If you buy as a non-EU resident, you cannot deduct any expense. So these are all possible solutions. Therefore, don't worry, don't panic. It is extremely unlikely. The more days go by, the more everyone gets convinced that Sanchez is just, as I was saying in my video, trying to deviate attention from his situation that is getting worse and worse. He is in a very weak political situation. He doesn't have the majority. He cannot pass a law, any law, without help by the other parties. Everyone is against this law. And from an international point of view, it's very controversial. It's very difficult that it will be approved. But anyway, whatever happens, even if there is a new small tax on non-EU property purchases, don't worry, because as you see, there are ways for you not to pay it. Contact me. I can help you. I can get you in touch with the best lawyers and tax experts. And as I was saying, together we can make your purchase happen without any stress, worry, and without Sanchez creating problems. I hope you found this update interesting. Please like the video, subscribe. It helps more people find this content and it helps me working on this channel. I will keep you updated on everything that is going on. I will post the 2025 forecast video as soon as I can. For now, thank you for spending some time with me. Take care. And as I said, don't worry.